Okay, I did come back to the model table last night. And I actually worked on the little railing that you can almost see for quite a while. And if you want to avoid having to watch all that, and having to hold your breath and all the rest of it, scrub ahead to the time shown on the bottom of your screen right now. And that'll take you up to this morning. In the meantime, if you want to watch it, well, let's roll back to last night. Before we get going here this evening, for those of you who usually start watching the episode right after YouTube uploads it, or it gets uploaded to YouTube, you probably noticed that yesterday's episode 890, was about 15 minutes late. Well, that's because I waited too long to do the final upload. Or do the final edit, rather, and then... Anyway, you get the idea. It was my fault. Sorry about that. I'm always surprised that there's... a few people that start watching right away. It tells me that you're waiting for the episode to air, and I feel very honored and very surprised, actually. Now, we have to get railing here, photo etch B35. It's this piece right here that you can probably hardly see. And it's this one right here, 35. Now, did I mention I'm not going to paint these railings on the sprue anymore? Anyway, it's going to be for this part right here. And so far, I have managed not to damage anything. Now these things here, we're going to have to bend those down. I'm just going to wait until we actually get to the place where I have to do that. I suppose no matter which way they go, there's going to be the chance of catching them on something. So I'm just going to have to be like super careful. And anyway, let's get our railing here. We're going to have to get the paint off of it, and so that the glue will stick. And anyway, painting these railings on the sheet, it wasn't a bad idea, I guess. But maybe for the long railings that are going to be going along the sides of the ship, but for these shorter ones, it's my opinion that they are better off left pristine, so that the photo etch or the CA or whatever you're going to use to fasten them onto the part, like right here, it will stick better. Now that's just my opinion. What do I know, right? Anyway, let's get number 35 here. Now, I've always wondered, in a piece like this, where it's going to have to be bent in different places, why they didn't put little detents in those places, unless they felt that because you were bending it at a post anyway, that would sort of give you a bit of a guideline. This didn't nip off the way they normally do. Makes me wonder if I actually went all the way through. Oh yeah, I must have. Okay, let's spin it around and get the other ones. Okay, I spun it around and I got the other ones, and I forgot to press record. Well, you didn't really miss anything. Okay, we are about as clean as we can get here. Probably back to the way it was before we painted it. Now, I know at which posts it's going to have to be bent, but I don't know if the post itself bends back or if the post stays straight. So let's just lay it on here and see. Okay, so you can clearly see, at least I can, that this post and this post is where the bend happens, but the post itself does not fold back. Only the railing does. So now I know how to place it in Andy's bender here. Okay, so we know that we bend it at this post and we bend it at this post, but those posts themselves do not bend, they stay straight. Whoops. Normally I would put it right in the center here, except that it has to go through and clear these pins. So, alright. Double check now. So we're going to bend it at this post right here. But we don't want that post to bend. Okay. Let's see now what would be the best way to do that. I think maybe we'll go all the way through like this. Alright, now I'm going to clamp it down so that post itself should not bend. At least that's the plan. Only the rail should bend. That's the plan. Okay, I think that's it. Do I have to go a little bit further maybe? You know, I don't want to be lifting on the post. I just want to bend the rail. Now I think I did it. Or did I maybe not shove it in far enough? Let's have a look here. Sorry about my big ugly finger. Well, it appears that I got the post at a 45-degree angle. Well, that wasn't supposed to happen. You have to really be careful when you stick your tweezers through like this, and if you release the tweezer, it will actually damage your railing. So that's, in other words, the best place to pick up something like this is on the end or like this. And the reason being is that when you release your tweezer, it doesn't get in between something. I think you understand what I'm trying to say here. All right, now this one here, maybe we'll do it like this, see what happens. Because we want the post to bend up. Okay, I think this one went better. Now, as far as the other ones go, like it has to bend right here, and go back at an angle a little better than 45 degrees. I'm just thinking maybe I'll do that with the photo etch plier, and I don't think I can. Well, let's try it on camera here. I just had a terrible thought. Did I push record? Yes, I did. Okay. Now it's wanting to straighten this one out now. We are getting it generally in the correct shape. We might have to do a little tweaking afterwards. Now, if you don't have a photo etch bender like this, you can use tweezers. I have, but this is a lot better. Okay, I think we got the general shape going on here. Let's just get our platform back over here and see how close we are. I haven't tried this, so you're going to get to see it along with me for the first time. Okay. Alright, we're going to have to close it in on the back a bit. I'm just going to go ahead and do that. Well, okay, clearly this rail right here that I'm almost touching in the back, on the side rather, has got to go out just a tiny bit. I think the best way to go is to maybe fasten it to the mast at the back, and then worry about using the holder down, or maybe to hold everything down. I still have to close it up a little bit in the back though. Okay, let's try this. It's probably a little bit too closed, but I'm thinking that maybe what we can do is nope, not that. Good thing I can cut out the dead spots, right? Now I'd like to get it to sort of grab onto the mast. Okay, no, that's not quite right. I don't know, maybe what I should do is adhere this post, which is right now in the right place. Actually, so is the other one. And then afterwards then twist everything around into shape. Let's just do that. Okay, I think the best thing to do is just leave that for a while, which might be tomorrow morning actually. I'll think about it. Okay, you can see that I've turned it 180 degrees around, and the post that we did was this one right here, and Now we're going to do the other one. Now, clearly, this whole railing is twisted out of shape, but my thinking is if I can get these posts in the back stuck on the mast. Am I getting it? I think I did. Maybe if I was to swing it around and get it from the back. There, I did for sure that time. Okay. Now I think that's going to make a fairly strong connection, even though it probably looks terrible to you. Well, I think what we're going to do is we're going to leave that for the morning. And we'll see you with a fresh cup of coffee. I was going to have a sip of this, but if I drink too much coffee this late at night, it sometimes prevents me from getting to sleep, at least right away. So we'll see you in the morning. Okay, it is morning. And I think if we're really careful here, I should be able to use our holder downer and pull this railing straight without it breaking off where I glued it onto the mast last night. It should be cured about as cured as it's going to get, and yet it hasn't aged to the point where it gets brittle and it's going to fall off all by itself. I think I mentioned that I've had that problem also with 5-minute epoxy. I remember one time, in fact, the clock that it happened to is hanging on the wall, and there were parts of it that that I used to pieces of wood that I had glued on that that are in the back of it right now, and the epoxy let go after about 3 years, and they just fell off. And I think that CA glue probably has the same problem. Anyway, let's get our macro lens on and recompose here and see if we can't just pull this straight. I'm pretty sure it's going to work. Maybe it'd be better off pushing it. Anyway, let's get the macro lens on so we can see what's going on here. Now, this railing is going to want to spring back. I'm pretty sure we can pull it where we want it here. But you see how it springs back, and this is a perfect example of where had I annealed the rail before we stuck it on there, I wouldn't have this problem. So what I've got to try to do is somehow pull it past where it's supposed to go, and then hopefully it'll spring back where I want it. Now there is the possibility that I'm going to break it off of the mast when I do that, but maybe if I was to push. Let's get something different here to push with. And I'll try and reach in the other side. I'm reaching around the camera right now. Hold against myself. Yeah, it's... Let me check the monitor. Is it still there? Oh yeah, you can still see it. Almost there. No. This is probably going to be the one where I break it off. Okay, I think that's pretty good. Now if we use the holder downer to just hold it down tight, I don't think we can do too much about that. So we'll just rig it up so that it's got a little bit of pressure on it, and then we'll put a little bit of CA. You know how I say a little bit and then I end up flooding it on. Okay, I think that's going to have to do. Okay, so what is with this wire that I have just CA'd onto this little piece of scrap sprue? Okay, the other Jason, the United Kingdom Jason, he was, I see my neighbor just came back, so I'm going to have to tell you later. Okay, so what's this all about now? Talk about side trips, right? Well, some of you may have wondered, how do I get my groceries if I don't use my car? Well, my neighbor, almost a year ago, he orders his groceries online, and then he goes and he picks them up, and they actually bring them right out to his car. And he offered to get my groceries. He says, just let me know what you want. I'll add it to my list, and then you pay me when you get them. And so we've been doing that for going on a year now, ever since this COVID thing hit, or soon after it hit. Anyway, this is how I get my groceries. Yeah, we have great neighbors around here. This is the neighbor right next door, and yeah, I don't know what else I can add here. Anyway, now you know how it is. I get my groceries, and yet I don't use my car. Now, mind you, I do pay the service charge. It's not like I'm mooching completely here, but I sure do appreciate this. It saves me having to go and get them. And as long as I go out and get them out of his trunk, it's not a big hassle for him. Well, I guess it is a bit of a hassle because I have to email him over what I want. Now, I do try and make it convenient so that all he has to do is just copy paste the link of what I want into his order, and it just pops up. Amazing things, these computers. Yeah. Can even get groceries online. Isn't that something?
Thank you.
Anyway, now you know.
And that's how I get my groceries.
Okay, quite a bit of time has passed here, as you can see, since we put this CA glue on here, and I can well imagine this is more than cured. Now, my thinking is, well, I started to mention that the United Kingdom Jason was saying he uses a piece of wire, whereas the New York City Jason was saying he uses a needle. And I was thinking, I've got lots of wire. Why don't I take a piece of wire like this, put it on the end of a piece of sprue to act as a handle, and I'm going to try it two different ways. Maybe this might be just a little bit too long here, but the idea is that if the CA glue does not want to stay on the end, excuse me, with just like that, maybe I could make a little tiny loop on the end of it that would sort of spoon out the CA. Don't know if I have time to do that yet today. Let's get our holder downer on the rail here and see if we can't. Well, maybe I could just try this and just see how it works here. I'll put the macro lens back on, and we'll move right in on this, and we'll just see, how will this wire work on here. It might just work fine just the way it is, but I do think I might have it just a little bit too long because it's kind of springy here. So I might have to shorten it. Okay, I have set up the holder downer, but I just want to see if the wire is too fine to hold any CA. And I know we'll see it with the macro lens. In fact, you're going to see it before me probably. Okay, stop the vibration here. Now, will it pick it up? And does it appear that any is sticking on the end of that wire? There might be a tiny bit. I can't see it from back here. Yeah, it does appear that there's something on the end there. But I do think this might work better if there was just a little tiny loop, or just a tiny little bend. I don't know how to describe what I'm thinking here. Okay, I can actually see it on there. There is some on there. Very, very small amount. Very small amount. Well, I guess that's what you would need in certain cases. Okay, this is the needle that I've been using for the last 2 years or so. And this is the little loop that I was talking about. Now let's just try it. I haven't tried it yet. Now, does it? I think it's probably holding some. I would think it's holding a little. Yeah, it looks like it's holding some there. Well, let's try it on the railing and see. This is probably going to cure before I get it up there. Okay, I can tell right now that the wire is too long, and it does seem to be working though, doesn't it? Because the wire is so long, it's hard to keep it from shaking. Now, I'm just assuming. Oops. I'm just assuming I'm getting it on there. I can't actually see it happening. I know when I get to editing, I'll know. I'll probably realize, well, that wasn't working. Whoops. Yeah, I think we got it. Okay, I'm guessing about 4 or 5 minutes has passed here. We'll just take the pressure off and see if the railing stays stuck to the platform. Here we go. Yeah, it did work. So both Jasons had a good idea. Okay, it is just a coincidence that it just right now turned out 2 o'clock. Well, a minute ago. And it looks like the next thing we have to do here before we get to the starfish is they want us to fasten this onto here. But we're going to have to do that tomorrow, at least in tomorrow's episode. Might do it this evening. We'll see how it goes. In the meantime, thanks for watching, everybody. And all being well, we'll be seeing you tomorrow.